Hello students, in the previous videos we discussed on carbohydrate. Now let us discuss another biomolecule which is a quite important one, that is proteins. Protein words derive from a Greek word that is proteos, which means primary or prime importance. That means proteins are the quite important for the proper growth and maintenance of the body. Chemically, proteins are the polymers of amino acid. That means amino acids are the repeating unit in proteins. So first let us discuss what is an amino acid. Amino acid, as is shown in the figure, it is an organic compound which contain a carboxylic acid group and amino group. You can see in the figure carboxylic group, that is COOH group, and NH2 group, that is amine group, is found in the same organic compound. Then it is called as alpha amino acid. Now depending upon the position of acid group and amino group, amino acid are of following type, that is alpha amino acid, beta and gamma. So let us discuss why it is called as alpha, beta and gamma. If the acid group is and the NH2 group are linked on the same carbon, then it is called as alpha. If acidic group and NH2 group are attached on the adjacent carbon, then it is called as beta. Alpha, this is alpha carbon because COH group is attached on this carbon, that is alpha, and adjacent to alpha is the beta. And if COH is on this carbon, that is alpha, this is beta, adjacent of alpha is beta and adjacent of beta is gamma. And NH2 is on the gamma carbon, then it is called as a gamma amino acid. But proteins are the polymer of alpha amino acid, so we need to discuss on the alpha. So other we are not going to discuss now. So let us discuss more about alpha amino acid. So alpha amino acid, as we have discussed, it is made up of, it have an acidic group and NH2 group. Both are attached on the same carbon and which have one side chain that is represented as R. So depending upon the R, we can have different amino acid. Now let us just take some examples of amino acid like glycine. In glycine, H, R is the H. Then it is glycine. If R is CH3, then it is alanine and so on. So depending upon the side chain, these are of following types, and each type is given name with a short symbol are given for each amino acid, that is by using 3 letters. Like glycine is represented as GLY, alanine is represented as ALA, and so on. And there is also 1 letter code is also given for these amino acid. So these are the some examples of amino acid. This list is also available in your text. So the alpha amino acid like glycine, the formula is given here. Here R is the H. Now formula become NH2CH2COOH. The short form or the symbol, 3-letter symbol is GLY. So each amino acid have a 3-letter symbol. So instead of writing the whole name glycine, we can write it as GLY. So let us define amino acid. What is amino acid? Amino acids are the organic compounds that contain amine and carboxylic functional groups along with a side chain which is specific to each amino acid. Now the definition will be more clear to you. It is an organic compound which contain acidic group and amino group with a side chain. So each amino acid have specific side chain. Just we have discussed in the previous example, glycine, the side chain is H there. Now classification of amino acid, it is classified as different categories. So let us discuss it as acidic, basic, neutral. Amino acids are classified as acidic, basic and neutral depending upon the number of functional groups. Like we have already discussed as it have a acidic group and the amino group. So if the number of acidic group is greater than the amino group, then it is called as acidic. If acidic group is less than the amino, then it is called as basic. And if acidic group and the amino group are equal, then it is called as neutral. So depending upon the number of acidic group and the number of amino group, we can classify it as acidic, basic, neutral. So let us take some question. Can you classify the following amino acid as acidic, basic or neutral? So some examples of amino acids are given here. You want to classify it as acidic, basic or neutral. So how you find it out in acidic? The molecule, if it have greater number of COOH than NH2, then it is acidic. So let us take the first case here. So take a molecule, make a circle for an acidic group. Here I have made a red color circle or the pink color circle for an acidic group and green color circle for NH2. Now in the first molecule, there are 2 COOH group and 1 NH2 group. Therefore, which is greater here? Acidic group is greater. Therefore, it is acidic amino acid. Next example, second glutamic acid. In this also you can find that there are 2 acidic group and 1 amino group. So which is greater here? That is acidic. Therefore, it comes in the acidic amino acid. Next example, in this you can find there are 2 amino group and 1 acidic group. Which is acidic group? Which I have circled with pink and which I circled with green, that is NH2 is the basic group. So in this we have 2 amino group and 1 acidic group. Therefore, it is basic amino acid. Now what we can find in this example, both are equal in number, that is COH and NH2 both are equal in number. Therefore, it is called as neutral amino acid. So amino acid also classified in 2 types, that is non-essential amino acid and essential amino acid. That means the amino acid which can be synthesized by the body, that is non-essential. That means it is not necessary to have these amino acid in our diet because our body is synthesizing it. But there are some amino acid which cannot be synthesized by the body. So such amino acids have an importance in our body, but the body is not synthesizing it. So there is need to take these amino acid in our diet. So these are the some examples of essential and non-essential amino acid. So let us discuss the properties of amino acids. They are colorless, crystalline, solid, soluble in water, having high melting point. They are optically active, amphoteric in nature and polar in nature. They are colorless and quite easily soluble in water. Now let us discuss the other all property in little bit detail. That is polar nature. As the amino acids have acidic group, so what happens, the acidic group, we know that the acidic group in the aqueous condition, it can donate H plus ion. It can donate H plus ion. Here the H is there. It can donate H plus ion because it is acidic in nature. And we know that the bases can accept the NH, H plus. That means this is a base. So this one, the H acidic group will donate the proton and the basic group will accept it. So now what it become? The formula will become COO negative and NH3 plus. In the previous year we have discussed on the acidic and basic character. In that we have discussed that in the aqueous solution acids can donate proton and the bases can accept. So H is proton is donated by the acidic group which is accepted by amino group. So there will be formation of an ion which is called as zwitterion. Very important one for the exam. So zwitterion having the two poles here. Therefore it is amino acids have, we can say it have polar nature. And the zwitterion are electrically neutral because it will develop a same number of positive and negative charge. So the net molecule is actually electrically neutral. Since there is two poles are developed, therefore it is called a dipolar ion. And because of this one, it have high melting point. We can see there are some examples of amino acid and its melting point is shown. It is usually greater than 200 degrees Celsius. Optically active, as we have discussed, if the molecule have asymmetric carbon, that means the carbon with 4 different groups are called as optically active. So here there is one asymmetric carbon. That means all the 4 carbon are different here. We can see here, all the 4 groups on the carbon is different. So it is called as asymmetric carbon. So because of asymmetric carbon, it is optically active. Except one molecule, that is glycine. In glycine, there is a symmetric carbon. That means this is a symmetric carbon. Here the two side groups, these are the 4 side group. From this, one is amino group, the other one is acidic group, but the two similar groups are there, that is H and H. So that means it is not a asymmetric. This carbon is called as symmetric, therefore it is optically active. So in the exam questions will come one word question, that which amino acid is optically inactive, that is glycine. It is amphoteric in nature. We have already discussed in the previous year. Amphoteric nature means which can behave like an acid and base. Therefore, here also there is acidic group and basic group. Therefore, it is called as, it have amphoteric nature. So let us summarize this. Whatever we have discussed in this, that is what is a protein, what is an amino acid, and classification. That is, we have classified it as acidic, basic and neutral based on the position of based on the number of acidic and basic group. Other classification, that is essential, non-essential amino acid, and we also discussed on the properties of amino acids. I think the topics are clear for you. So what is work for you? That is what you have to write these answers of these question. That is, what do you mean by zwitterion? How you can explain the amphoteric nature of amino acids. So these are about the proteins. So in the next video we'll be discussing more on the linkages. Okay, linkages in the protein. So thank you everyone.